There were days that she could do that, and there were days that she would skip around or miss letters or numbers or mix numbers around. This child is in a family with two, both of her parents live in the home. They are very supportive. They not only was the mother very involved with her child's academic work at home, she also volunteered at the school. And so is very proactive and has been in close contact with us about her child's academic difficulties, and has also been very proactive asking what content areas we are covering and how that information is being presented, and if there are alternative in ways that the instruction for those concepts can be given in a different way. I know that we have worked very much with this child's mother in terms of using all different types of learning skills, in terms of we have tried more kinesthetic methods, visual methods, oral methods, every method that we can think of in order to try to bridge the gaps that we see between the content that this child recalls. And so that brings us to you, Mrs. Smith, and the reason why we are here today. As you know, we have, your daughter has been struggling to recall particular academic content, and we have been working on her listening comprehension, and it has been quite difficult for her to recall details and stories. It has been difficult to sequence the parts of the story that she has listened to. We have been continuing to work on her letter sounds, and she has had a lot of difficulty blending our words together, blending vowel and consonant words, and blending three-letter consonant-vowel consonant words together. You know that we have also worked with her to recall some simple like number order from 1 to 20, and placing these numbers in the correct order, counting them correctly. Also, some simple math facts. We've been working on adding up to the number 4, and we've used manipulatives, and we have used flashcards. I know that we have also had her record herself saying the addition and subtraction fact, and the progress so far has been minimal. You know that she meets with me daily in a small group for phonics and reading, and also in a small group for math. She also meets with our interventionist in a small group and one-on-one, working on these same skills. She also has access to our Title I lab, and she has spent time one-on-one with our Title I lab assistant to complete assignments, and has also had taken certain assessments or oral tests that have been given, in order to provide for her repeated the directions, repeated the questions, repeated answers. We have also reduced the number of choices when giving her assessments in terms of when we do listening comprehension and ask her questions about stories. We have reduced the number of options that she's been given for answers to those questions. And all of these interventions haven't given us the progress that we would like to see with her. As you know, we have had her in what we call the tier 2 interventions for RTI. You know that we do, in addition to the small group that she's in for reading that meets daily with her, with myself, the general education teacher, and with her general education teacher, we have also, we meet with her daily for math. She also receives a small group and one-on-one instruction during our RTI time. You know that our RTI committee has met to discuss ways that we can change our instructional methods in order to help her make more progress. We've met each 6 weeks, and for the past 3 6 weeks, we haven't seen the progress that we would like to see for her. And so what we would like to do is we would like to give her an evaluation, and I'd like to talk about those tests and the evaluation that we will be giving her a little bit later. What I do want to talk to you about first is that we do have a timeline that we do have to stick to, and just making sure that we are communicating with you and keeping you involved with this whole process with your daughter. We have been communicating with you about our RTI and the different interventions that we have used with your daughter. We are notifying you right now about our desire to do an initial evaluation with her. She has been referred to me for this evaluation, and we would not begin this evaluation any sooner than 5 days, because this is we are informing you now of our desire to do this evaluation, this initial evaluation. After we receive your permission to evaluate her, and I know you've been very supportive of this process, within 60 days we will complete this initial evaluation. Within 30 days after the initial evaluation is complete, within 30 days we will meet in what we call an ARD committee, and I'll talk about that a little more later also, and meet with you to discuss the results of the evaluations, and then to go from there and attempt to possibly make plans for her and see what services we may be able to provide for her after we complete the initial evaluation. The first thing I want to do is give you this. This is a letter about our desire to give her the initial evaluation, and if this is satisfactory to you and you agree to allow her to be evaluated, if you would please sign this for me, and I will make a copy of this for you and give it to you. Okay, thank you. Okay, thank you very much for that permission. Also, I wanted to talk to you, I wanted to give you your notice of procedural safeguards, and that's right here. And I wanted to discuss this with you a little bit. It just talks about your rights as a parent, your child's rights, and also the rights of the school district during this process. The first thing that I want to talk to you about is that anytime before we would take any action with your child, let's say that we do the initial evaluation, we decide that there are some services that we would like to provide your daughter. Once we have determined what those interventions may be, we will not start any of these services without giving you prior written notice, at least 5 days before we would start this. And in our ARD meeting, we will, well, let me go to the next part of this. Anytime that we want to initiate evaluation for your daughter, or identify any needs that she may have through special education services, or any placement that there may be for your child in any of these services, we will give you prior written notice to this. This will not be any surprise to you. We will make sure that you're informed. We want you to be a part of the process. Any time that we would like to begin this initial evaluation, as you saw in the letter, that gives you a description of the actions that we would like to propose and that we will now take because you've given us your permission. We will, I'm going to explain to you, and I will give it to you in writing, a description of the evaluation procedures, any assessments that we will do, the way that we will, any records or reports that we may have, we will absolutely give you all of that information in writing. After we complete the initial evaluation and within 30 days, we will have what we call an ARD meeting. And in this ARD, we will consider different services that we feel would benefit her, or if there are services that we need to give to your daughter after we talk about the evaluation and the results of the evaluation. If we decide that there are some things that we would, services we would like to provide her, or services we feel she needs, we will definitely discuss that. If there are a variety of services that may be helpful to her, we will definitely put those in our notes of the meeting. Any services that we discuss that we, as a committee, and you are included as a part of that committee, have decided that we rejected those, we will put that in writing as well. We're getting ahead of ourselves, but I just want you to know these things before, hopefully, as we've made sure that you're a part of the process and we have communicated. I appreciate so much the communication that you've had with us. I just want you to know the things that may happen in the future, and your rights as a parent. Anytime we, let's say that after the evaluation, we decide there are services that would benefit your daughter, and we decide to initiate these services, we will make sure that if we want to, at any time, you may revoke permission for us to provide these services. So if you change your mind, you're definitely able to do that. And Dr. Brown, I'm sorry, my son is at the door, and so I'm going to have to stop this right here, and I will come back.